give me something you haven't done before that you want to do on the field before you hang it up after year 15 or whenever that is.
I want to get double-digit interceptions. That's always been my goal since I've been playing. I came close once, had 7 my second year, and last year with 5. So those are my 2 season highs.
Yeah.
So being a double-digit interception guy in the season, that'll be pretty big.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the locals, the folks that have been here from day one. Also, welcome to people who are just stopping by. Hope you come back, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend about this podcast if you enjoy it. Patrick Peterson today. Been enjoying interviewing Steelers players. If you're a Steelers fan, you got a lot to be excited about this year. I'm taking the over on the win total and putting my money where my mouth is. And we love interviewing your guys. Kenny Pickett was great. Patrick was great. You'll love this interview. Patrick Peterson, new chapter for him. 8 straight Pro Bowls, 11 years in a row without missing a game. A man corner in today's game, playing that long at that high of a level, it's kind of unheard of. And I'm really excited to see him in Pittsburgh. I think he looks great in the new uniform. I think he looks great in number 20. 7 was okay with me, but 20 looks just right. I asked him about this. Best looking uniform in his pro career? Obviously, the answer is yes. Who do you think has the best get up in the NFL? I'm talking throwbacks included. What is your favorite uniform in the NFL? Steelers, although they have a throwback, don't really need one. Beautiful, beautiful outfit the Steelers rock on Sundays. So thank you for stopping by. Come back again for more of our interviews and some of the BS we do. Me, Kyle, Macon, Nate, the whole crew. Like, subscribe. See y'all back again. All right, I'm thankful that Patrick Peterson has taken some time out of his day to join the podcast. I feel like he's been in the league. I feel like he's almost my age, but he's actually a lot younger, and he's still doing it at a high level. Million-time Pro Bowler, just class personified on and off the field. Love watching Patrick Peterson play, and now he's joining the Green Light podcast. Pat, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Chris, and also thank you for inviting me on the Green Light podcast, man. It's an honor.
Podcaster to podcaster, bro. How's
Right.
all things covered? Like, how's doing that during the season and all that? I was always afraid to do something like that.
Man, it's always it depends on how the week is.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time I enjoy it. I love putting out great content. I love, hearing the viewers and the listeners comments. I love some of the questions they even asked us. So it's a joyful ride, to be honest with you.
Did you get an answer on that Pickens to Pickett connection question you guys solicited the fans for? Some of those answers were a little subpar.
Yeah, I know. I think so. I can't remember which one we end up going with, but I think it's going to come out tomorrow when we do our podcast. So
okay, cool. So people got to listen up. That'll be out today.
Yep.
Your today, our tomorrow. So check that out today. Green Light and all things covered, man. But love the show. Love that. I was just always nervous. You said it depends week to week. Like some weeks you give up a touchdown, maybe you slip,
right.
You don't play you don't play great. For me, it was like, man, if I don't show up on the stat sheet and I got to go in on Monday night and do a show, whether it's a local radio show or a podcast, I was nervous about that. Were there games in Minnesota, because I guess you started it in Minnesota, where you were like, man, I don't want to be on the fucking mic this week?
There has been games like the Dallas Cowboys game. Like got punched in the mouth. It was an embarrassing loss at home. But, what I come to realize, and I think this is why I started to enjoy it even more, because when I'm done, this is more than likely I want this to be my job, so it gives me an opportunity to talk about other guys instead of versus talking about myself all the time. So it gives me a little bit more insight on other players, things they like to do, how they're going to rebound from this game. So it's just getting me ready for the next chapter in my life. So say, for instance, I was with Kirk. He had a bad game. And once I retire, Kirk is still playing. He's a quarterback. I understand how he rebounds from bad games. I can relate to some of the things he's probably trying to change in his resume to not have the performance he had last year. So I feel like having a little bit of insight on other players will help me, later in my career as an analyst.
Yeah, dude. I was watching the quarterback thing on Netflix, and I guess that begs the question: how does Kirk rebound from a bad game? Because he seems cool. He seems like a guy that takes it hard though when he makes a mistake. Like he really puts a lot on his shoulders.
Yeah, he does. He does, and Kirk wants to be a champion, as every
Yeah,
NFL quarterback desire to be. That's what they dreamed of doing, leading their team to a championship.
yeah,
And Kirk does a great job of doing that, leading by an example, day in and day out. Have huge faith in Jesus Christ, so he's walking obviously the right way in life, and he handled his life the
yeah.
right way, as far as his day to day being a dad, being a husband, being a great teammate, being a leader in the locker room, treating everyone with the utmost respect. It's very rare that not very rare. Most quarterbacks are like that, but I had the privilege to be around a couple good ones in Kirk Cousin and also Carson Palmer.
So take me inside the Vikings plane when you guys were putting the chains on Kirk, because like whose chains were they? Were they like Big Z's chains? Were they? Is it a little bit of you?
So
Like what was going on with
So
that?
Chris, man, I don't think if anyone came to the plane with that many chains on and they owned all of those, I
Yeah,
would be so upset because they just wasted so much money
so
and
much
diamonds
money.
that they cannot even get back. But
Yeah.
that was a collective of everybody's chains. We just wanted to. It got to a point to where we wanted to see how many chains can someone get on their neck.
Uh, yeah, I think it was like five or six. And especially for a guy that usually wears short sleeve button downs from
Right.
LL Bean every day.
Exactly. He always had the dad outfit on, so we always
Yeah.
call him. He dressed just like a mannequin dad. So
Mannequin.
we broke him out of his shell a little bit when he had the opportunity to put those chains on a couple of times.
That was a fun run, man. I want to ask you about one game because it was one of the best NFL games I ever seen. I mean, I was in Vegas for this game watching on the big screen. It was you guys in Buffalo.
Oh
And I was wondering for you, and you played great in that game, had two picks, sealed the deal. Big road win. You know how those are. They're the best. Sometimes it's winning on the road is the most fun thing in the NFL. I
no
feel like
doubt
sometimes.
about that plane
So
ride.
yeah, the plane ride, the sound when you make that pick, it's dead silent. All you can hear is your guys, man,
Right.
our sideline. That's my favorite thing was winning on the road. And I wonder for you where that ranks in all your football wins in your career because I thought that was one of the best games I've seen in a long time.
Man, Chris, that's up there, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. One of my all time favorite game is probably when I had the opportunity to tie the NFL record against the Rams,
Yeah,
uh, my rookie year, tying the NFL record with four. But that one there, man, this one right here was special because
yeah,
we was down, I believe, 17 to 10 points in the fourth quarter with about 10
yeah.
something minutes to go. Dalvin ended up, having a big run, getting us back in the game.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, man, we were still down, but I remember talking to the guys on the sideline. I was like, man, I don't know how we gonna win it, but we're
Yeah,
gonna win it. Just keep believing.
yeah.
Then next thing you know, Justin catches the fourth down
Dude,
miracle catch.
that was unbelievable. What are you guys doing on the sideline? Are you really? It's 4th and 17.
Yep.
I think it's in my head. I know the exact down distance, but like on the sideline, are you thinking it's over? Like, be real. Are you thinking we got a shot at this thing?
Man, honestly, man, the way we practice those scenarios, I felt
Yeah,
like we always had a shot because that's
yeah,
one thing Coach O'Connor did very well. We practice each and every scenario in two
yeah,
minutes that you can think of, that you can possibly think of. So it wasn't no situation that we was unfamiliar with.
yeah,
So no, I was like, man, we still got a shot. Kirk got the
yeah.
ball. We got Justin. We got Dalvin. We still got a shot. We still got some meat on the bone. So next thing you know, I'm standing up because I want to see it because obviously it could possibly be the last play of the game. So I'm standing up with my coat. I'm right behind coach. No, actually, I'm in front of the play. So the play
Yeah.
is coming straight to me on my sideline, on the sideline. I'm like, Justin, it's him and the receiver. And I mean, him and the defensive back. I can't remember who the safety was, but I'm like, it's one-on-one. Justin, we always talk about him getting better with the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
Here's your shot.
Hmm.
And he went up there with his right hand and just snagged it and came down with it. I'll never forget that moment in my life because when he caught the ball, I came right out of my because it was cold as hell in Buffalo. Came right out of my jacket. I was like, "Hurry up! Get on the ball! Get on the ball!
Yeah.
Get on the ball!"
Yeah.
And we ended up getting on the ball, and the rest was history. We ended up scoring, and hell, we scored, tied the game up. Then I think
The fumble.
I think we ended up going up by. I think we tied the game, or
Yeah.
we was. I can't remember how it went because we
Bro,
still
I can't remember how it went either. It was like a fucking.
because
It was like from 1 minute to the next, I thought each team was going to win the game, and then they were
right.
backed up and fumbled the ball, which is like a miracle.
That's what I was going to say. That was the craziest part, craziest play in the game by far. Because if he think about it, if he just gets that snap, fall forward, the game is pretty much over.
Yeah, it's over.
But the football guys was on our side. He ended up
unbelievable.
Slipping, the snap ended up slipping through his fingers.
Yeah.
Eric Kendrick comes through there like a Spider-Man and rips the ball out. Vikings go up, and then they still end up going down to kick a field goal to tie the game.
No, it was wild. I mean, it was the greatest game I'd seen all year. I kind of wondering because y'all won some tight games in Minnesota. I mean, Pittsburgh, tough division. We had Kenny on a couple weeks ago. I know he led them to a couple late drives last year that solidified wins for them. I'm wondering, as a vet, having seen it all, been on teams that lost close games, been on some teams that kind of got it, what goes into winning close games in the NFL? Because we always talk about it. It's like a skill, learning how to win for a young team. You know, Pittsburgh's probably learning how to win again a little bit with a new quarterback. What advice would you give young players, or do they just have to go through it?
Man, that's a great question, man. The biggest thing for me is obviously getting the reps. Putting yourself, have the coach doing a great job of putting his guys through situations, through 2-minute situations. It's just like you said, you have to learn how to win. Yeah. And the number one way of learning how to win is not beating yourself. Right. Being one of the least penalized teams, in the league. And that's what we were in Minnesota. We was the least penalized team, and we won 2-minute defense and offense before the half and in the game. So when you're able to win situational football, everything else is kind of like, I won't necessarily call it a fluff, but the most important parts of the game, as you know, Chris, is before halftime and at the end of the game. Because if teams score before halftime, it's almost a 78% chance that they're going to win. Yep. So when you're on defense, obviously you want to keep them out of the end zone. And if you're on offense, you want to at least get 3. Because your chances of winning go up significantly. So giving the guys the rules. We also understand if you get a penalty on offense, your chances of scoring go completely down.
Yeah, man. I saw that sheet too, bro. I was like, man, it's like a formula. If the offense just, one penalty defensively or offensively tilts the odds exponentially, man. It's like, it's real math.
Yeah, it really is, and people don't understand that. So I feel like if you have continue to give these young guys the rules, on how to win those situational football points, then I feel like you'll have a better way of understanding how to win football games.
Last thing on the QB Netflix thing. I mean, I think it's cool, but you know how I feel about QBs with my line of work, my last job. I would like to see a DB thing on Netflix, and I'm wondering who you think, if they had, let's say, 4 guys in the NFL right now that you'd like to see followed around that play the position, who would you want to see?
Oh, man. I would like to see Sauce.
Yeah.
I would like to
star.
Jair, because he's a character, man. And
he's interesting.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
That dude can ball, but he knows how to get in people's heads.
Man, I love that. I love that about him. Let me see 2 more. Man, you got to get. I know he's not playing anymore, but Richard Sherman.
Yeah,
you got to get Richard in there.
He's doing the show with Skip.
I know. I saw that. Congratulations to my boy Richard for doing his thing in the second.
NFC West, making money after football, man.
Yeah, and to the second chapter in his life, man. That's awesome. I texted him as soon as I found out that he got the gig. And lastly, Can we do an old timer in there? It can
Oh
be
yeah, fuck
really
it. Throw an old timer in there.
prime time.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just you got to follow around coaching. that
Coach
that
Prime, baby.
they're working up in Colorado, man. Those kids didn't know what they were in for.
Oh no. So
I'd like
so
to see Xavier and
in
Howard. I
Washington.
never hear him say a fucking word. I just I put a microphone in front of my man. I want to hear what does his voice sound like? He never talks. He doesn't say shit, dude.
Hey, you ain't lying.
I'd like to get him on Netflix. And then your guy, Honey Badger, too. I
Yeah,
just
Honey
love
Badger.
that dude. I know you love him. I know that's your guy, like maybe your little brother a little bit from LSU.
Yeah,
Do you take as much pride in watching him play as anybody?
I do. I do just because, man, me and him went through it. Like me and
Yeah,
him shared the same visions. Like when we
yeah,
was in school, we talked about being in the position that we are in today. Not only being recognized as one of the best, in college football, we want our name to continue to live on in the
yeah.
sport of football. And, now, both of us had the opportunity to showcase our talents in Arizona, and we end up being named to the 2010 all decade team.
That's
So
awesome.
to see him still playing at a high level. We just continue to push each other, man, each and every year. Me and him, we share, some of the same attributes of we're never satisfied. We're
Yeah.
always trying to find a way to continue to get better. Not only find a way for ourselves to get better, but help our teammates along the journey as well, because we just want to see everybody successful.
So why the Steelers, man? I feel like I've heard you take a crack at this, but I've been in your position. I wasn't the player you were, but like looking at it like I'm trying to cash in on a career that I'm proud of, but haven't had a chance to win the big one. Feel like you're a guy who deserves that opportunity. You're what, 31? Like you don't know. You said you want to play 15 years, bro, but I figured I'd check in on that because now it's 13. Year 13. I think you said that like a year or two ago. First off, you still feeling like 15? And secondly, what goes into making this decision when you're like, you never know. I mean, I want to play 15, but your next contract, your next play could be your last, like at 31, 32, 33. So how do you make that decision and how long do you want to do this?
Man, Chris, I definitely 15 is my goal, but it all depends on how the body feels next year.
Yeah,
As of right now, the body feels great. I'm
that's
very,
awesome.
very lean. I'm about 5% body fat. My nutritionists are on me right now and say I need a little bit more body fat. I'm a little bit too lean.
That's a good thing to hear.
But, the mind feels great.
Yeah,
So, I still have joy for it, man. I
yeah,
feel like if I ever don't want to work out or don't want to go through the grind, that's when it's time for me to hang it up. But like, I don't know what it is on the latter part of my career. I just feel like I'm getting more joy than I ever had before. I don't know, because I think I know that it's coming to an end, but I'm just enjoying every moment that I can, because it's kind of weird. But hearing these kids come into the locker room like, man, I was watching you when I was in middle
yeah,
school. I was watching you when I was in high school. And you know what that does to me? That motivates me even more, because now I'm still in this game that I love so much that it is literally to me a kid's game, but we getting paid very well for it. But that's just how I see the game. Like I don't
yeah,
see it as a job. I
yeah.
see it as you know it's fun for me, and I want to continue to keep it fun, because once the fun leaves me, I think I need to leave the game.
Yeah, man, I can remember being young and like, you're always trying to prove yourself. You're always intrinsically motivated by yourself. Otherwise
Right.
you wouldn't be here. Like, but
No doubt about it.
the external motivation of being young is like, I hope I don't get cut or I hope I don't get
Right.
yelled at in this meeting. And now it's like, I hope when I go in this meeting, the young guys look at this play and they feel like they have a good blueprint for how to go about my job in the NFL.
Right.
And that love you get from the young guys, man, when you walk into a locker room year 11, 12, whatever it is, and you're a vet, that's a different deal. I
It
mean, it
is.
really if it's less stressful. I mean,
Right.
if your body feels good, it's
It,
less stressful. I kind of like that chapter of the career. So I think that's great. And then you end up walking in the building and you got this special wide receiver in George Pickens who was compared a little bit to a guy you played against in college in AJ Green. I I don't know, man. You gotten a chance to go against him now in practice, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Does he have a comp to you? Like, does he remind you of anybody that you played against in the past?
Man, he reminds me of a couple guys that I played with in the past. I feel like he has the hands, and I told him this. He reminds me a lot of DeAndre Hopkins on
Yeah,
the way he goes up and attack the football. His catch radius.
yeah,
There's not many passes that you see DeAndre Hopkins drop. No
yeah,
matter how he catches it. It's gonna come down in his possession. And he has a little bit of Chad Johnson too, as far as his body type, his body structure.
hmm
He's a very, very lean and awkward route runner.
hmm
Like I said, kind of like a Chad Johnson. And he also has very, very, very deceptive speed. And I think that comes from the stride that he has, because as DBs, we're always taught to run. In the hip pocket of the receiver.
yeah,
But GP strides are so long, like as we're trying to stay in his hip pocket, his strides are almost a foot to a foot and a half longer than ours. So he's
yeah.
continuing to gain ground on us and making it easier for him to stack, the DBs. So those just a couple comparisons that I can think of off the top of my head with the guys I played with, guys I played against, that I feel like GP compare close to.
Do you play guys, or you're like you see him on film? Because I remember playing a tackle and being like, oh, his anchor's not great. And
Right.
then you go to bull him, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not as strong as Julius Peppers. Like, you watch film, and it's a totally different deal when you get out there on the field. Maybe a guy surprises you because of how long his stride is, or how quick he gets into his break, or whatever it is. Like, this is like speaking French to me. This is second level stuff. But like, are there guys that you're like, man, the way you're talking about George Pickens, they're deceptive, and then on Sunday you're like, damn, dude, I got to really stay in his hip pocket.
Hey, yes, my second year, Calvin Johnson,
Yeah,
because this is my first time ever going up against him. Matter of fact, it was my rookie year. It's my first time ever going up against him, and like I believe like 2 weeks prior, they had just played Dallas, and this one he went crazy for like
yeah.
321 yards. Dallas, they had no answer for him. At one point, they had three guys on him, like lined straight up over him. So I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah,
the fuck? Like, you literally taking three people out of the game to
yeah,
cover one guy. So I'm like, this dude, and you hear the size on, you see the 6'6", 240, but you be like, all right, it says 6'6", 240, running 4.3. I'm like, all right, man, like, that sounds like crazy. But then when you get up there, you're like, holy shit, this is
hmm
real. Now, yeah, he really is 6'6". He really runs a 4.3, and he's really 240, every bit of it.
That might be 241.
Right. So being right there in front of it in live action, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a game. And guess what, Chris? How many targets that he got that game?
13.
21.
Did you take that personal?
I did. I had a couple PBUs. I had me a pick.
You
I balled
battled.
out.
You
But
battled.
Matt. Matt gonna force feed his guys. He don't
Yeah.
damn who's guarding
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, they're gonna get their touches. Is this the best uniform that you've worn? I mean, I know I don't want to disrespect LSU because I love the LSU uniforms, and so I'll leave them out of this, but it's got to be the best pro look you've had.
By far, because not only black is my favorite color to wear,
Yeah.
but black just means dominance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just something I just love, that black and gold, that black and yellow, man.
Yeah.
And it's one of the probably one of the most notified uniforms across the league.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I know we got some great teams like the Cowboys, the 49ers,
Yeah.
but that steel curtain and that that black top with the yellow pants, so traditional.
In all of sports, I put the Steelers up there with almost any uniform. And then the cool thing about Pittsburgh, which I liked about Philly, It's like everything's right there. So
Yeah.
like in Philly, we'd be at the link, we'd play. You go over see the Sixers. It's like stones throw away. You get the bank to watch baseball,
Yep.
Wells Fargo. The whole thing's right there. And in Pittsburgh, I love that everything's black and yellow, and
Every,
everything's right on the river.
everything. They definitely bleed their black and yellow here. These Pittsburgh fans are by far, some of the best fans I've
Yeah.
been around. They travel well. They support their team, win, lose, or draw, and they just love defense and football.
Yeah.
Like as a defensive player, that's what you want. Like when you're on, when you at the at your home field and your crowd is making it tougher for the opponents, and then when you travel and they're still making it tough for the opponents, that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah. Do you remember playing in Pittsburgh when they play? I don't know if you know Styx, but you know the song they play?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I don't think Kenny Pickett knew who Styx was. We had him on the fucking pod.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, "How you like the Styx?" He was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." I was like, "Oh shit, Kenny, you gotta learn that. You gotta take him aside, man." Another thing about Heinz Field that sticks out to me is the grass, man. And I know, like, it just was a topic because I used to play y'all down in Arizona. Don't remind me. You want to talk about 2011 and the fucking 99-yard walk-off, bro? I think I beat you to the end zone walking into the tunnel when you ran that punt back to end the game. Okay, me and James Hall or whoever it was, we were in the tunnel watching. I was like, oh, there he goes. But the grass there is atrocious, right? I mean, like when you played there, it wasn't always that way. I don't feel like every time we played down in Arizona it was bad, but like during the Super Bowl it made news.
Yes.
Then you go to Minneapolis, it's turf, right? And then Heinz Field's like a whole different thing. I remember we used to wear 7 studs there, and I know DBs, the coaches will say, get the right cleats on,
Right.
and y'all are over in the corner like, how can we get around this shit?
Right.
Are you going to wear the ugly 7 studs up there? Are you worried about the grass?
No, I'm not worried about the grass, Chris. I have to adjust when I need to. I let the finger on the receiver's brain.
Okay, there we go. There we go. I like it. But this is the coldest home game. Like, these are the coldest home games you're going to play in your entire life, dude.
Yeah, but I'm prepared for it, man. I'm a freaking lion. I adapt, baby.
You don't worry about the cold, huh? I feel like there's a wink and a nod here. You answering this question, you got a smile on your face. You really don't care about the cold? Are you like one of these like no sleeves guys? Are you gonna bundle up? You got tricks? You put the hand warmers in your, you hide the hand warmers and shit.
Yeah.
Which guy are you?
So I'm gonna be the guy that wears no sleeve. I always wear my traditional one sleeve.
Yeah.
I wear my traditional one sleeve, but the hot packs will be.
Yeah.
Where I have it in my knee pad, my thigh pad. I have it in my shoulder pads, on my back. So I'm gonna make. Oh, I got.
Damn, you got them on the back.
Make sure I'm nice and warm now.
Yeah. Yes, sir, dude. That's what I'm talking about. How about the slot stuff, man? Because, people drew a comparison. I think it's a great comparison because this guy's maybe the best that ever did it, but one of them, Charles Woodson, going to Green Bay, second chapter of his career, moving positions a little bit, moving around. I know you reunited with your DB coach there from LSU. He's up at Pittsburgh. Like, how comfortable are you with all this, man? Like, hitting the curveball a little bit, doing some different stuff. I heard you say the game slows down for you in the slot. Why, and are you excited about that?
Man, Chris, I always wanted to be like, because my whole football life, before I got to LSU, I played everywhere on the football field.
Yeah.
Like, I never came off the football field.
Right.
Ever. Like, if there was 40 minutes in a high school football game, I played 40 minutes. Right. Little league, however many minutes it was, I played every second on the clock. So when I got to LSU, you can ask Les Miles. I mean, I wanted to play everything there as well, but I learned in college we have scholarships. We got people that they're bringing in to play specific positions. So I knew that I wasn't going to play offense. So my next gig was to play punt return.
Yeah.
And Trenton Holiday was back there, the fastest man in college football. So
yeah.
I had to wait my junior year to finally get back down punt return. In my first game, I broke the SEC record. And Les Miles is like, man, I knew you had it in you, but golly, I should have thought about putting you on offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now having the opportunity to get back to what I've been doing in my early football days, I believe that's what's bringing the me so much more joy in the game of football, because now I feel like I can be utilized as a ball player now versus just a corner. Like I've been at, like I'll never forget my early part in my career. I never was a part of the game plan. Like, Pat, you got him. Everybody else, this is what we're doing. And I always wanted, and that was fun, but I also wanted to be lined up in different positions. I wanted to blitz. I wanted to play a little safety. I wanted to play a little inside. But I never forget my coach Rock. He was like, man, I know you want to do all these things, but you're really fucking good at guarding a guy.
Exactly, dude. We can kind of man you up over here.
Right.
It makes our jobs easier. I know that looks fun, but then what do we do out there?
Exactly. So he was
Yeah.
like, we're not moving anywhere. So you just get
Yeah.
used to that. So that ended up going by, years end up going by. Then now here in year 13, free agency, I'm on Pittsburgh radar because they just lost Cam, and they have Mink, and their defense is ran. Obviously they invest a lot of money in their front seven,
Mm-hmm.
the defensive line, because they want to harass the quarterback, but they also want guys, instinctive guys on the back end that's able to make plays.
Right.
And once I became on their radar, we had our talks, and Coach Tomlin was like, man, I want to bring you in here just not to be a cornerback, but I want to use all of your attributes. Like, we know you have great ball skills. We know you're a student of the game. We know that you love to study. So we're gonna put that to work.
Yeah.
I was like, "What you mean, Coach?" He's like, "I'm gonna have you inside. I want to play you at safety. I want to play you at dime. I want to play you at nickel, corner, and also be a mentor."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, "Coach, I'm all game, baby. Let's do it, because now you're giving me an opportunity to not only be on the corner, to be everywhere on the football field, to make my opportunities of making plays go up that much more." Because think about this as well, Chris. For 10 years of my career, I've been playing with my back against the quarterback.
Yep.
Like, never seen when the ball is coming my way. I had to
Yep.
find out, or listen to the sideline when they're calling the ball, this, that, and other. And now last year was my first time playing in a true zone defense.
Yeah.
I had 5 picks. So now I have an opportunity to come over in Pittsburgh and move around a little bit and see the quarterback a lot more. I feel like it can be another big year for me.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't think about that. I mean, the only thing with man and zone for me ever was like, all right, our rush lane's got to be good because these motherfuckers
Right.
got their backs turned. And I figure, that's going to come in handy when it comes in handy in your division, because you got two quarterbacks rather, that you don't want to play a lot of man against. I
Right.
mean, you don't want to turn your back to Lamar. You don't want to turn your back to Deshaun. Is it a lot different defending? For us, the rushers, yeah, obviously, but for you on the back end, how different is it, and what are the differences in defending a guy like Lamar?
It is different, Chris, just because when you're guarding not only good receivers, but a mobile quarterback,
Yeah,
we have to guard these guys for an extra 3 to 5 seconds, which is
Scramble
hard
drill.
enough to guard those guys on their initial route.
Yeah.
So, and then they have their entire field to work with. So, like, all of your game planning, all of your notes go out the window once that
Yeah.
quarterback pocket and the receiver starts scrambling, trying to find open lanes for him to throw it to him. So I always hated playing mobile quarterbacks because they made the defensive back job harder. And that's when I was in that man-to-man system in Arizona, when we had to play Russell.
Yeah.
And he's scrambling around in the backfield
Oh.
for 8 to 10 seconds. Then the defensive back coach looking at you crazy, how can we guard a receiver for 8 seconds and we don't know where the hell he's going?
You got to talk to the D line on that one. They got to get home. We used to take care of that. We go up. We used to eat up in Seattle. We used to love playing Russ. He'd be bailing out of the back, holding the ball for 8-10 seconds. Yeah.
We used to do that same thing as well. But when you start disassembling the team, You start guys from everywhere.
I know what you
It's
mean.
hard to tackle Mr. Houdini in that pocket, man.
No question. No question. He looked good in the first preseason game.
Say it again.
He was throwing some darts over the middle of the field. That wasn't really his thing in Seattle, but
No.
we'll see.
I think now, since he has a true offensive coordinator,
Yes.
I think he will be better because we all know Russell. He wasn't a first throw guy. He looking to scramble to get guys open. That was their game, backyard football. Like they never. And Chris, you can attest to this. You could probably name 5 plays that Russell dropped back and threw on time.
Yeah, 2 of them were the other night.
Right.
Hey, I was like, what is that? His back foot, like just planning, and I mean, it was crazy. You know what I mean, dude?
No doubt about it, man. So it was tough.
Yeah. No, that's funny. Can you still return punts, you think? I mean, like physically,
No.
you could still do it? No, okay.
I don't want to do it just because I don't want to get hit anymore.
Good for you. Good for you, bro. The kids get older. You start to see your mortality a little bit more. Like there's certain things I don't want to do anymore. All right. Let's talk about 2 Thursday night games this year. Is that a pain in the ass?
Yes, it's a big pain. And I'm not being bashful. No, I'm not sugarcoating it at all. At all, because the league and they're going to get their bread. They're going to it's all about money.
Yeah.
But we always talk about player safety. That's not safety for players to be playing in a quick turnaround like that. And 2 Thursday night games this year. Like one was hard enough, but now having 2, man.
How quick did you see that when you looked at the schedule?
First of all, I didn't even look at the schedule. My cousin Brian told me.
Oh yeah.
I was
Brian,
like, 2 Thursday nights. Like, man.
Damn, dude.
At 2 Thursday night games.
Damn, bro.
I don't like it at all, just because I feel like it's not giving our bodies enough time to turn over. You already added a 17th game.
Yeah.
Going to have a game on Black Friday this year. In the latter part of the season, you have Saturday games.
Yeah.
Like, it's a money business, but I do not like the 2 Thursday night games.
I'm skipping the Black Friday game and be at Best Buy, bro. I'm gonna be hungover at Best Buy.
Cyber shopping, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cyber shop. I'll be on my laptop. Hey, Joey Porter Jr., this is the craziest thing in the world, man. Like, you played with his pops in Arizona, and now you're getting to play with Joey Porter Jr. How's he doing, man? Like, how's he dealing with that pressure of, because I've been there with a dad who played, and, he's a real good player in college, and now he's in a big football city. I know it probably helps to have you there. What's that relationship been like, and how different is he from his dad personality-wise?
Oh, he's night and day difference from his dad. Like, senior is like the life of the party, very, very rowdy.
Yeah.
He has like a defensive line mentality. He don't give 2 shits about nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But his son, on the other hand, is completely just quiet to himself, but he also loves the game. He wants all the input that I can give him, that, coaches can give him. He just want to find a way to be the best version of him. And as a young kid, see him coming in with that hunger and with that grit of the want to get better. I mean, you can't help but to pour all you can into him, because for me, like we talked about earlier in the show, I want to continue to see generations after me to continue to, thrive and make the game that much better for the future to come.
Was Joey one of your best vets in Arizona? Who were the guys that kind of showed you the ropes?
Yeah, man, Joey was definitely one of the best vets I've been around. Obviously, Larry, Adrian Wilson, Darnell Dockett.
Doc.
He was a vet when I was there, but he's not too much older than me. I think he's 2 years older than me. But Rashard Johnson, I believe since we were so close in age, I think he was in his 3rd year when I got drafted. So and he was undrafted, so he's an SEC guy, and we just hit it off from day one. and we still talk to this day. He's actually coaching the Nickels at Tampa, so I had an opportunity to see him this past weekend. So he was another one. Gerard Powers is another one.
Golfing, dude. I want to ask you about golfing last, man. I hear you're a pretty good golfer, and I'm just kind of wondering how this goes because I didn't play golf. I just started playing golf. It's actually pretty fun. Go figure. But how did you play in Minneapolis, bro? Because, like, after a certain point in the year, like, it's too cold. It's going to be the same thing in Pittsburgh. You were kind of spoiled in Arizona.
I know, man. And when I got to Minnesota, I was in for a rude awakening because, like you said, when I was in Arizona, I golfed almost every day, especially like on a Friday when we had a short day. And when I got to Minnesota, all of that stopped in the month of October. So I'm like, whoa, this is an adjustment because I'm so used to playing golf on my Fridays. Now I got to change my whole regimen, my regiment now. So what the heck I'm going to do? I still golf, but not outside.
Really? Where, so like Top Golf or some shit?
No, it was this place up the street from my house. It was called, it was almost like a Golf Tech, but it was a Minnesota brand. I cannot remember the name of it, but I used to go in there and just hit balls off into the net. They had a putting green. They had a little chipping area. So I wasn't outside playing, but I still had opportunity to hit balls. I love the game. And, you know, I feel like it's something that will keep me as close to a locker room feeling as possible because you still can go out there and be competitive. You still go out there and talk trash. You still can go out there and tell stories. You know, so I feel like playing golf is the closest thing that'll have me in a locker room once I'm done.
Well, it's like it's hard. Here's the thing with my setup. I'm like thinking about asking my wife to go golfing. That's like 6 hours of day drinking that she knows I'm just asking to go do on a Tuesday. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get that pass. Last question for you, man. You've done so much. Obviously, the Super Bowl would be one thing, but give me something you haven't done before that you want to do on the field before you hang it up after year 15 or whenever that is.
Yeah, man. I want to get double-digit interceptions. You know, that's always been my goal since I've been playing. I came close once. Had 7 my second year, and last year with 5. So those are my 2 season highs. You know, so being a double-digit interception guy in the season, that'll be pretty big.
All right, maybe this year, man. I'm pulling for y'all, man. I'm pulling for the Steelers, pulling for my guy here, Patrick Peterson. One of the best to ever do it, and just the man on and off the field. Go check out All Things Covered podcast and watch him on Sundays. You can do both. Pat, thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, Chris.